The thing I love most about the rehearsal process is the fact that it's a room full of adults playing with their imaginations. And it's everyone's job.
We get to play with toys. For me, in any rehearsal process, you want to be bringing something to the table on day one. You bring as many ideas as you can and be ready to throw them out at any second.
For the audience to be immersed in the sound, it's important to actually have it wrap around. So we use a system that's similar to a three-dimensional spatial array that they do in film, and it means that we can move sounds between speakers and actually have it move over or around the audience. As we work through the production, blocking it all out with the actors, I'm taking notes and editing the tracks and give them a bit of a massage to fit along with the actors' voices so that they fit into the mix correctly, and then create all of the world elements to bring it together to create a three-dimensional cohesive whole for the production.
Now that we've started rehearsals, the game for me changes a lot. There's been so much preparation in the creation of the script, and then also into the design and the fabrication of all the props and those elements. But when we then take those elements into a rehearsal space, it's sort of a bit of a free-for-all. There are so many people around, and the team's actually finally all together. And the solutions that we come up with to the problems that we face in that collective, collaborative environment are always infinitely more successful than what we've all dreamt up separately.
A lighting designer's job is to make sure everyone's visible, but it's also about creating a sense of emotion and tension through the lighting. Because we're using the miniatures and the green screens and we're imposing that behind the actors, it's really important to make sure that the two match in lighting, so that if you've got your light coming from a certain angle on the miniature, you have to make sure that you do the same thing with the actor in the space, because if it's different, it'll look like they're in different places. Even if you don't recognise what the problem is, you'll feel it when you watch the work.
At the end of this 4-week rehearsal process, I need to understand the entire rhythm of the show, and I need to have a kind of clear idea of what the creatives want from the show. Because once we open and the creatives leave, it's my job to make sure that the artistic integrity of the show is upheld for the entire season. My prompt copy is the singular cohesive document that is the Bible for the show. Throughout the process, I update that. I keep track of where people are moving, what camera is on, where it's focused, who's spinning what. Someone needs to be able to pick up your prompt copy in the event that you get hit by a bus and be able to call the show.
Alongside the director, David, I was responsible for coming up with the concept that we would actually then bring to life throughout this development period. The next step really was to look at what form we would use and what storytelling capabilities we would use to bring the story to life. Over this next 4-week period, I think my ultimate goal is to make sure that we are setting out to make the work that we wanted to create a really contemporary, compelling, innovative production that will mean audiences are seeing something for the first time that they've never seen before.
I like to approach blocking in an incredibly organic fashion, where I usually set up a couple of performative constraints, like where's the entryways, where are the doors, and then our cast are phenomenal. We sort of just let them go, and they'll find a way to navigate through the material that feels emotionally authentic to them. My job is not to have the best ideas in the room. It's to listen to the collaborators that are around me and absolutely trust in the strength of that team, and just to make sure that the decisions that we're making are at least heading in the right direction for the overall arc of the show to make sense. My favourite part of rehearsals is that finally, after such an incredible amount of work, we start to see these things actually come to life and these characters in these places appearing before our eyes.
I really believe in this project. We have an incredibly dedicated cast and crew and creative team who are working endlessly to make it happen.
I really love the creativity and the excitement in a rehearsal room as you start to make a work. The buzz in the room is always really great to work in.
It literally feels like a workspace where everyone is building and making all together. and it's just this super cohesive team, and it makes for a very exciting space to be in.
You get to see what everyone's bringing to the piece, and you're all a part of creating that.
Because creating a new work takes such a long time, we become quite a family.
I'm feeling totally energized after this first week of rehearsals. Everything's cracking along.
I'm really excited. Just the 20 minutes that we've created of the play so far, I can't wait to share with an audience.
I'm still pinching myself. I just feel so lucky, so grateful that I get to do this.